So actual PV diagram for the reciprocating air compressor. Okay. So far we discussed theoretical PV diagram. Theoretical. Yes, please mute your mic. Just now I told.
टॉम एंड जेरी ने लगा दो.
Okay, right. So in actual PV diagram, if you see this bounded portion is extra for actual, right? So in theoretical diagram, 4 to 1 is suction, 1 to 2 is the compression, 2 to 3 is the delivery, and 3 to 4 is the expansion, right? So if you compare this the actual with the theoretical one, right? So this certain area is added below the suction and certain area is added above the suction, right? Means if you observe, the area of the PV diagram is increased. The area of the PV diagram is increased. So as we know, the area under PV diagram gives the work done. Therefore, in actual case, the work done will be greater than the theoretical one. Okay. So why we got this wavy form, right? Why we got this wavy form, right? So actually, according to theoretical one, actual suction should start at 4. Actual suction should start at 4 and should end at 1, right now? Right. So now tell me, what is the pressure at point 4? What is the pressure at point 4?
P1.
P1. What is the value I am talking? This is 1 atmosphere. This is 1 atmosphere. Agree? The pressure at point 4 is atmosphere, right? So if you see the air compressor, if you see the air compressor, this is suction valve and this is the delivery valve. When the piston is moving downward direction, vacuum will be created. So due to the pressure difference, the air will be admitted, right? So once vacuum creates inside this air compressor, what is the pressure? Is it is equal to 1 bar? Whenever the vacuum is created within the air compressor, what is the pressure inside the air compressor? Is it is equal to 1 bar or less than 1 bar?
Less than.
Less than 1 bar, right? But in theoretical, we studied that at this point suction starts, right? But practically, if you see, in order to suck the air, we should create certain pressure difference. That pressure difference is the driving force for the air, right? So therefore, the actual suction starts like this, right? Means if the pressure falls below the atmosphere, then only the suction will take place. Okay. And one more reason is these valves will not open instantaneously. These valves will open gradually and closes gradually. It is not a one-time process, right? It may take certain time to get it opened fully, and it will take certain time to close it fully, right now. So due to this inertia of the walls, okay, so this wavy form is coming into picture. At the same time, if you see at the delivery also, immediately at point 2, the delivery will not start. At point 2, the delivery will not start, right now, because in order to overcome the inertia of the wall, the air pressure should be greater than the required pressure. Okay, so that is the reason we have the point 2 to 3 is again increased in area. So in order to overcome the valve inertia. Okay, now if you see this is below the suction line, so this is the below the atmosphere, we can call this as intake depression. The pressure sets down at a level lower than the atmosphere pressure, and this negative pressure difference is known as intake depression. So in next slide it will be more clear how what is this intake depression and everything. Okay, similarly at point 2, the start of delivery according to theoretical one, but practically the pressure, so P2 is the delivery pressure or storage pressure, but practically in cylinder the pressure developed is greater than the P2, right? That is why it is greater than P2, because in order to overcome the valve inertia, the pressure should be more than the required pressure. Okay, so and this is the receiver pressure. Now here given clear explanation, just go through the slide once. At point 4, when the clearance air has reduced to atmosphere, the inlet valve will not open immediately. As I told, the inlet valve is not opening at instantaneously. It will open rapidly. Slowly it will open and slowly it will close. Okay. So it will not open immediately. The pressure drops to lower than the atmosphere pressure and the inertia of the walls are overcome by the pressure difference. Thus the valve is forced open by atmospheric air and it rushes into the cylinder chamber. There is a valve bounce and the pressure does not remain constant inside the cylinder. The pressure slightly increases then decreases. If you see, it is a wavy form. This wavy form means the pressure is not at all constant. If it is a horizontal line, we can say that the pressure is constant, but due to the inertia of the walls, okay, due to the valve bounce, because the valve is not open instantaneously, it is opening slowly, therefore the pressure is also varying according to the opening and as well as closing of the valve. So therefore there will be a wavy motion, means the pressure is not at all constant, it will vary according to the position of the valve. Okay, the pressure slightly increases and decreases, after which it reaches somewhat steady intake of the air. This negative pressure difference is called intake depression. Similarly, the point 2 where the delivery valve delays to open, actually according to theoretical one, at point 2 delivery valve has to open right now, but practically the delivery valve will open when the pressure inside the air compressor is more than the required pressure, because it has to overcome the inertia of the valves. Okay, inertia is nothing but, what is inertia? Anyone? What is inertia? Can you hear anyone?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what is inertia? Did you study it in first law of Newton?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what is inertia?
Resistive force.
Yeah, resistance to the motion. Inertia is the resistance to the motion, right now, right? Right. So delays to open, the compressed air pressure inside the cylinder of compressor reaches a pressure slightly more than the receiver pressure. That is, receiver is nothing but this is our required pressure or delivery pressure. The delivery valve opens, causing a slight decrease in the pressure, but always above the received pressure, air received pressure, and enabling the compressor to deliver the air. Then it reaches a stable point after some valve bounce and then reaches the point 3 where the delivery valve closes to continue its cycle. So in practical, so what is happening? So the area of air compressor is more than the theoretical one. Therefore, we need to supply the more work. Okay, we need to supply the more work. And free air delivery, as we discussed, if the volume of air compressor is reduced to atmospheric condition. So free air delivery, as I told, we need to bring back to the intake conditions. Atmospheric conditions means 1.013 bar and 15 degrees centigrade, right? So if the pressure is reduced to 1 bar and 15 degrees centigrade, then the delivery is called free air delivery, right now. So as I told, while solving problem, this concept free air delivery will become clear. Okay, now if you see, according to equation of state, PV by T is equal to constant, and what is the suction here? Effective swept volume is V1 minus V4 and delivery is V2 minus V3. If you see, V2 is the start of the delivery valve and V3 is the close of the delivery valve. So from here to here it is V2 and from here to here it is V3 clearance. If you subtract V3 from V2, you will get the total delivery, that is effective delivery. So V2 minus V3 is the delivery. PV by T is equals to constant. This is this is suction side and this is the delivery side. So these are the pressure corresponding to suction condition, 101.32 kilonewton per meter square. This is nothing but 1 bar only, right now. And this is 15 degrees centigrade. That is the atmospheric conditions. Right. Now, so far we discussed about single stage air compressor, right? So basically, single stage air compressor can be used if you want to increase the pressure up to 5 bar, 5 times the atmospheric pressure. If you want to increase the pressure beyond the 5 bar, if you, let us say, you want to increase the pressure of atmospheric air from 1 bar to 10 bar, let us assume your requirement is 1 bar is atmosphere to the 10 bar. If you use single cylinder air compressor, that is single stage air compressor, there will be so many difficulties, or you can say it is disadvantages to use single cylinder in order to raise the pressure from 1 bar to 10 bar. What are the problems associated with the single stage air compressor? We will see right now. So here, in order to increase the pressure from 1 bar to 10 bar, right now. So what is the first problem? What is the first problem? The first problem is the size of the cylinder will be very bulky. The size of the cylinder will be very bulky, right? Now 1 bar to 10 bar means, see here I'll explain in detail. Let us assume here we have air compressor. Very, very important concept. Piston, connecting rod, crank. Crank rotates and connecting rod oscillates, piston reciprocates, right now. So this is the suction valve and this is the delivery valve. Okay. Now, so let us assume from here, where it will go, the air, tell me. Where the air will go?
Into atmosphere or storage tank.
Receiver tank, right now. Receiver tank, storage tank. Okay. This is a storage tank and this is from the atmosphere. From the atmosphere, right? Let us assume my required pressure. Let us say I have pressure gauge over here and it should read 5 bar. That is my required pressure, right? Now, at 1 bar, the air is entering into the air compressor. Now, my question is, will the pressure rises from 1 bar to 5 bar at a time instantaneously?
No, sir.
No, right now. So the pressure inside the receiver tank will be increased gradually, right? So it will be 1 bar, then it may be 1.5 bar, 2 bar, 3 bar, right? So 4 bar and 5 bar. Once the desired pressure reaches, automatically the air compressor stops working. Means it will cut off automatically. So there will be safety valves will be there. They designed in such a way that, right? Now let us say we started the air compressor by using some prime mover and it starts compressing the air, right? Let us say now inside the air receiver tank, the pressure is 1 bar. Now pressure is 1 bar, right? So now let us say my question here is, now from earlier what will be there here? Let us say nothing will be there. Now it is the pressure inside the air will be 1 bar. Now next what I need to do? I need to raise the pressure. So when this delivery valve will open, tell me. Let us say already the air is present within the air compressor and it is at a pressure of 1 bar. Now let us say now it's starting, now suction is completed, compression it's doing. At what point this delivery valve will open? Once the pressure inside the cylinder is greater than 1 bar, then only this delivery valve will open and thereby the air will go to the air compressor receiver tank. Is it okay? Is it okay?
Can you repeat once more?
Right. Now let us say initially nothing will be there. Let us assume what we call, we cleared the whatever the air present inside the receiver tank and we send the entire air we used and nothing is there. It's not simply it's empty tank. Okay. Now so it's air compressor started, thereby the air is storing inside the tank. Now at present the pressure inside the tank is 1 bar. At present now pressure inside the tank is 1 bar. Our required pressure is 5 bar. Right now as I told, the pressure is increased slowly 1 bar to 2.53 like that, right? Now it is already 1 bar pressure is there. Now in second cycle, in order to open the delivery valve, the pressure inside this air compressor should be greater than 1 bar or less than 1 bar?
Greater than 1 bar.
Greater than. Means if the pressure is greater than 1 bar, then only this delivery valve will open and thereby the air will go to the receiver tank. Now let us assume now the pressure inside the tank is 2 bar. Now the pressure inside the tank is 2 bar. Now what will be the pressure inside the tank, inside the air compressor to open the delivery valve in the next cycle? What may be the pressure?
More than 2.
More than 2
More
bar, right?
than 2 bar.
More than 2 bar, right? Now more than 2 bar. Now let us say due to that, let us say now the present pressure inside the tank is 3 bar. Now in order to open the delivery valve, the pressure inside the air compressor should be more than 3 bar ultimately, right? Now, so now let us say 4 bar pressure. Now at present inside the tank we have 4 bar pressure. Now we need to, now in order to increase the pressure, so what is the, at what pressure it is taking the air from atmosphere? Tell me every time. Every time the one bar only, one bar only, right? In first cycle, it is easy to pressurize, right now. So let 1.5 bar is sufficient to push that. In second cycle, 2 bar pressure is required to open the valve because already 1 bar pressure is there. In third time, already 2 bar pressure is present within the tank. In order to open the delivery valve, the pressure should be greater than 3. So if you see 1 to 1.5 bar pressure rising and 1 to 2 bar, 1 to 3 bar, like that, right? So intake is 1 bar and we are increasing 1 to 4 bar. Now let us say in order to get the 5 bar, right now here the pressure will be 1 to 5 bar and 1 to 6 bar, right now. Now if you see, is the work required by the compressor is same for all these cases? Work required?
No, sir, increasing.
No, right now means work required will be increasing with increase in the pressure of the receiver air. Is it is clear what I mean to say? Means if the pressure is increasing inside the tank, the work consumed by the compressor is also increasing because it needs to compress more and more. It needs to compress more and more. Thereby, we need to supply more amount of work to the air compressor if the pressure inside the receiver tank is increasing. Agree?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, up to 5 bar, we can use single stage. Let us say now, please listen, just continuation to that. Now, let us say during compression stroke, if this is the position of the piston, let us say the air is compressed to 2 bar. Means this is the return stroke of the piston. Now let us say at this instant of position of the piston, now this is 3 bar. Now this is 4 bar. If you keep on increasing the pressure, at some point of time, we already discussed there will be clearance between the piston and cylinder. That clearance volume should remains inside the cylinder, right? At certain pressure, the piston may reaches the top dead center. There is no volume left to deliver at, let us say, at 8 bar. Got the point? I will draw. I will draw with help of the diagram so that it will be clear. 1 second. So what I am explaining now, the drawbacks of the single stage. PV diagram. So 1, 2, 3, 4. What is 4 to 1? Anyone?
Suction.
Suction.
Next 2, 1 to 2.
Compression.
Compression. And 2 to 3 delivery, and this is expansion and this is suction, right? Now my question is, what is the distance between horizontal distance between these two curves 1 to 2 and 3 to 4? Observe the distance between 1 to 2 line and 3 to 4 line. What is happening from bottom to top? What happens to this distance?
Decreases.
Decrease, right? Means it is converging. Yes or no? Now that this distance is keep on decreasing. Yes or no? This is my question. Now, if you are clear, then I'll explain. If everyone is clear about this one, the gap between these two lines are decreasing. Now this is my 1 bar pressure. This is my 5 bar pressure. In between, I may have 3 bar pressure, 4 bar pressure, and 2 bar pressure. Now tell me, with respect to increase in the delivery pressure, what about the discharge of the air? Is increasing or decreasing?
Increasing.
My question is the volume of air discharging. Okay, with increase in the pressure of the air, the volume of air delivered is increased or decreased? As we know, the gap is decreasing from bottom to top.
It will increase, sir.
No. See here. What is the volume discharge at this point? This is V2 minus V3. Yes or no? This length is equal to the volume of air discharge, and corresponding to 4 bar, this is the volume of the air discharge, and this is the volume of air discharge, and this is the volume of air discharge. What happens to these lengths? The lengths are decreasing, right, from bottom to top.
Yes, sir.
When the pressure is increasing, the volume of air discharged is decreasing. Agree?
Yes, sir.
When pressure is increasing, volume of air discharge is decreasing, right? Right. If you keep on, now what does it mean? Tell me. The position of the piston is moving towards the top dead center. Agree? See, this is bottom dead. This is bottom dead center, and this is the top dead center. Let us say. If you see, this is the start of the delivery, and this is the start of the delivery, and this is the start of delivery. When pressure is increasing, the piston is moving towards TDC. This is what the piston is moving towards TDC. At that time, the pressure is increasing. When the piston is moving towards TDC, the stroke length is decreasing for the discharge. The stroke length is decreasing for the discharge. If you keep on increasing the pressure, try to understand. If you keep on increasing the pressure like this, at a particular position, at some particular pressure, there is no discharge. See, again, it will continue expansion at a particular pressure, because the distance between these two lines are decreasing. At a particular pressure, there is no discharge. Discharge is equals to 0. Is it is clear? All of you, very, very important. The drawback of single stage. Answer me. Is it is okay, or shall I repeat? Students.
Okay.
Okay. So the main drawback of single stage is the pressure rise is limited to 5 bar max. If you, let us say, if you want to increase the pressure beyond the 5 bar, right, what will happen? The discharge of air is decreasing. If you still want to raise the pressure at a certain particular pressure, there will not be any discharge, right? Na? So directly after compression, expansion is starting. Suction, compression, expansion. There is no discharge. Okay. So that is the one problem with the single stage. Second problem is, in order to raise the pressure in single stage, the size of the piston and cylinder will be more. Okay, the size of piston and cylinder will be more. When the size of piston and cylinder is more, then the balancing will be the problem. Right now. So that is the reason single stage air compressor cannot be used more than 5 bar pressure. So it requires heavier working parts, heavier piston, heavier cylinder. Again, in order to balance the piston and cylinder, larger size of flywheel is required. Why balancing is required for reciprocating engines? Flywheel is required. Why balancing is required? Balancing is required only for the reciprocating, whereas for rotary we don't require any balancing. Why? Because let us say now at this instant of time, where is the position of the piston? It is at BDC, right? Bottom dead center, right? Now, as we know, for every one revolution of the crank, how many strokes completed? 2 strokes, right? Now, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Right. Let us assume at 0 degree of crank, piston is at the top dead center. At 180 degree, it will reach to bottom dead center. Again at 360 degree, again it will go to the TDC. Now tell me, yeah, is the velocity of the piston is uniform throughout the stroke?
No, no, sir.
No, right now. So the velocity of the piston is not at all uniform. Okay, so the velocity is fluctuating, right? Means the velocity means every time at 0 degree, at 180 degree, at 360 degree, the piston is changing its direction. Try to understand. At 0 degree, at 180 degree, at 360 degree, the piston is changing its direction. You can see when the piston is moving from TDC to BDC, at this instant of time, it should come back to opposite direction. Means at that instant, the velocity of the piston should be 0. And at this instant, when it is moving from TDC to BDC, the velocity of the piston will be 0. Means if you see the velocity is 0 at the end position, that is TDC and BDC, and it is increasing to the midpoint, again it will decreasing, increasing, decreasing, increasing, decreasing. Means the piston is subjected to fluctuating velocity, right now. So therefore we need to balance the piston because of this fluctuating velocity. Therefore flywheel is required for the reciprocating engines. Flywheel is required for the reciprocating engines. If the size of the piston is more, bigger size of flywheel is required, right now. So if the big size will be more, the main problem is balancing is the problem, right now. So in order to, because more torque will be generated, so in order to balance that, we need to use bigger size of flywheel. Therefore the cost will be more, it will have a costly, it will be costly. Heavy flywheel is required, right now. Again, if you use single stage air compressor beyond the 5 bar, let us say 1 bar to some 6 bar you are using. So due to the compression, what are, so at the inlet condition, what are the properties of air? At suction condition, what are the properties of air?
Air comes in.
1 bar and 15 degrees, yes or no? 1 bar and 15 degrees centigrade. Now due to the compression, the pressure will be increased. Let us say the pressure is increased to 6 bar and temperature may reach to 50 degrees centigrade. Pressure may increase it to, let us say, 6 bar and temperature is 50 degrees centigrade. Now, so as we know, wherever there is relative motion, there the chances of friction. Wherever there is relative motion, there we will get the friction, right now. If you don't arrest the friction, if you don't minimize the friction, what will happen? So heat will be generated, and wear and tear of the parts will be taking place, right? Here between the piston and cylinder there will be relative motion, right? So the parts wherever there is relative, they are going to relatively move towards each other. The parts needs to be lubricated. We need to use the lubricating oil in between the parts wherever there is relative motion, right? So therefore what will happen? Let us say if there is any leakage, let us say if the piston rings are worn, okay, then what will happen? There may be chances of escaping of this high pressure, high temperature air into the crankcase. Here below we have lubricating oil. Inside we have lubricating oil. If the piston rings are worn, what will happen? This lubricating oil may enter into the air compressor, or this high pressure, high temperature air may enter into the lubricating chamber. At 50 degree, what will happen? If there may be chances of explosion. There may be chances of explosion. Means the lubricating is not in a position to, the lubricating oil we are using, it may be not in a position to reduce the wear and tear. It cannot take the heat developed between the piston and cylinder. So these are the problems associated with the single stage air compressor. First problem will be for higher pressure rise, it requires heavy working parts, means bigger size of piston and cylinder. If you use bigger size of piston and cylinder, immediate the problem is balancing is the problem. Therefore bigger size of flywheel is required. Right? Now second problem is lubrication problem. Because of the high temperature developed, the lubricating oil we are using may not be in a position to extract the heat developed between the piston and cylinder. That is one more problem. And third problem is, if the pressure is keep on increasing, as I told, if the pressure is keep on increasing and the discharge volume or delivery of air is decreasing, if you further increasing at certain pressure, we cannot get any discharge, only suction, compression, expansion, like that it will be repeat. So these are the problems associated with the single stage reciprocating air compressor. Very, very important for short answer. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Right now. So this demands the multi-stage air compressor. The problems associated with the single stage will be solved by using multi-stage air compressor, right now. So in multi-stage air compressor, what we are doing, as we know, while discussing the classification of air compressor, right? So depends on number of stages, single stage and multi-stage. In multi-stage, the number of cylinders may be up to 6. Right now, more than 1 and up to 6 we can use. Right now, more than 1 to 6 we can use. Again, the main advantage is we can reduce the work. As we know, when the pressure is increasing in one cylinder, the work, that is also one drawback. The work required to compress the air will be more in single stage air compressor, whereas in multi-stage air compressor the work can be saved. We will see while deriving, in the derivation we can prove that. So the work consumed can be reduced, okay, and volumetric efficiency is increased. Volumetric efficiency, what is volumetric efficiency? Tell me, anyone? Actual volume by swept volume, or one more way, free air delivered by swept volume. Free air delivered by swept volume. Okay. So this volumetric efficiency is increasing, right? What is free air? This is also written as V1 minus V4 by yes. So I'll tell you here why the volumetric efficiency is increased. If you see, single stage air compressor, like this means here, if you use, let us say 4 1 2 3, if you let us say for medium pressure rise, that is this pressure, this is the delivery pressure. Now at that time, this is the effective swept volume, this is the total length of effective swept volume. Now if you increase the pressure further 1 2 to 2 dash, then 2 dash to 3 dash, then this is 4 dash. Now earlier V4 minus V1 is the effective swept. Now due to increase in pressure, now the effective swept is V4, sorry, this is V1 minus V4, right? Now V1 is greater, and V1 minus V4 dash. Which volume is more, V1 minus V4 or V1 minus V4 dash? Which volume is more? This is V1 minus V4 and this is V1 minus V4 dash. The length is more, the volume is more. This is horizontal, indicates the stroke length. Here this is the more stroke length for this one. Here the stroke length is reduced. When stroke length of the piston is reduced, automatically the volume handling capacity is also decreased. Means if the pressure is keep on increasing, the effective swept volume is decreasing. Once the effective swept volume decreases, the volumetric efficiency is also decreases, right now. So therefore in single stage the volumetric efficiency is decreased by increasing the pressure. By increasing the pressure, what happened is the expansion is increased. Again I'll tell you, if you increase the pressure, what happens to clearance volume? Students, you should answer.
Increases.
Decreases, sir.
Yeah, means if
Huh?
you increase the pressure, try to understand. If you increase the pressure, the volume of air present inside the clearance volume will be under high pressure. Yes or no? If you increase the pressure, the volume of the air present inside the clearance volume will be under high pressure, and during the expansion stroke, the air will take more span, that is more stroke to expand. More stroke to expand means this one, this 3 to 4 dash. It will take more stroke, thereby the effective swept volume is decreased. That is the reason volumetric efficiency is decreased in single stage. That problem is overcome in multi-stage air compressor, and the mass flow rate is increased. Mass flow rate is nothing but the discharge of the air is increased. Okay, and as mass flow rate is increased, as clearance air expansion is reduced, because we are expanding, we are compressing the air in more than one stage. and the effective swept volume of the cylinder is also increased, right? So here you can remember, for if you use single stage, the maximum pressure rise is 5 bar, and if you use 2 stage, you can increase the pressure up to 35 bar, and for 3 stage you can use up to 85 bar, and if you want to get the pressure above the 85 bar, you should go for the 4 stage, right? So practically, if you see, wherever maximum will be having 2 stages, 2 stages will be, right now. 2 stages means we are compressing the air in 2 cylinders, right? Now let us assume, let us consider we are compressing in 2 stages. First stage, second stage, right? Now here we have inlet wall, outlet wall, inlet wall, outlet wall. Now this inlet is connected to the atmosphere. Again, this outlet is in turn connected to the inlet of the second stage, and from here it will go to the storage. From here it will go to the storage, right? Now if you see here, in between these two we are using intercooler. Okay, means the outlet of the first stage, we can call it as, if two are there, it is low pressure, high pressure. Okay, low pressure, high pressure, or first stage, second stage. It will take air from the atmosphere. Okay, now here in 2 stage, this is the schematic diagram of 2 stage reciprocating air compressor. So first one is the low pressure stage, second one is the high pressure stage. So this low pressure cylinder sucks the air from the atmosphere, that is around 1 bar pressure, and it will increase the at 1 bar pressure and let us say 15 degrees centigrade. So due to the compression, what happened? The pressure may be, let us say, 3 bar, and the temperature may be increased to 40 degrees centigrade. Right now, if I use directly this 3 bar and 40 degrees centigrade, there is no use of multi-stage, right? So I need to decrease the temperature of the air entering into the second stage by maintaining the pressure constant. Okay, so I need to decrease the temperature of the air entering into the second stage by maintaining the pressure constant. So in order to do that, I am using intercooler. IC is the intercooler. I can call it as constant pressure intercooler. Constant pressure means it will maintain the pressure constant. Only thing is it will decrease the temperature. Let us say after intercooler, the pressure remains the same 3 bar and it may be 20 degrees centigrade. Now it will undergo the compression, and again the pressure may be raised to 6 bar and the temperature may be 45 degrees centigrade. 45 degree centigrade, right? Now this intercooler may be either air cooled or water cooled. This may be air cooled or water cooled. In case of air cooled intercooler, fins are made over the cylinder. If you see the your bikes right now, so over the cylinder you can see some fins will be there, some blades like thing. Those are called fins. So those fins are nothing but extended surfaces. Fins are nothing but extended surfaces. By using the fins, what we are doing is, let us, I'll give one example. We have a ball.
Sir,
yeah,
for cooling purpose, we are using fins.
Fins, that's what I'll explain here with help of figure. Let us assume the temperature of the water, let us say, inside this one is 100 degrees centigrade. Okay, now this I have same bowl. Right here also I have the water, and the temperature is again 100 degrees centigrade. Okay, so what here is, for this one I'm adding some extra plates over here, some extra plates over here, and wherever it is possible, and both the bowls I kept over the table. And if you see, after 2 minutes of time, will both the bowls will reach same temperature or different? different, right? So it may read 80 degrees centigrade after 2 minutes. It may read 60 or 70 degrees centigrade. The reason here is for this first bowl, this is the only area available. This is the only area available to interact with the surrounding. This is my system. The thing outside the system is called surrounding. This is the area available for this bowl to react with the surrounding. Whereas coming to second one, I added some fins over here. The area in contact with the surrounding is increased indirectly. You can see. So that is the reason I can call fins or extended surfaces. Extended surface is nothing but increasing the surface area. Increasing the surface area means we can transfer more amount of heat. Heat transfer rate is increased by adding the fins. Thereby, within less time, it will be cooled. That is the main motto of using intercooler here, right now. So if it is air intercooler, we are using fins over the surface. Whereas if it is a water intercooler, what will be there? We will add water jacket surrounding this intercooler, and one place we are adding the water, cold water, and the other side we are taking out the hot water. Thereby, the air passing through this will be cooled by maintaining the pressure constant, right now. So these are the two different types of intercoolers, air intercooler and water intercooler, right now. Even in case of air intercooler, we are using fins. Again, if you observe here, one more thing, the size of the cylinders, if number of stages are increased, the size of the cylinders are in decreasing the order. If you see low pressure and high pressure, let us say third cylinder is there, it will be like this. If fourth cylinder is there, fifth cylinder, sixth cylinder, like that. Means if number of stages are increased, the size of the cylinder is in the decreasing the order. Why? Because if number of stages are increasing, let us say initially I am taking 10 meter cube of air. 10 meter cube of air at 1 bar pressure I am taking into the first cylinder. In first cylinder, due to the compression, the volume may be decreased to 7 meter cube. In order to accommodate the 7 meter cube, I don't want the same size of the cylinder I used for the first stage. I can use smaller size. Smaller size of the cylinder is sufficient because the volume is already decreased. Again, this 7 meter cube of air coming from the second stage may be 5 meter cube. In order to accommodate 5 meter cube of air, the size may be further decreased. Again, it may be 4 meter cube, 3 meter cube, 2 meter cube, like that. If the volume is keep on decreasing, in order to accommodate that lesser volume, less size of cylinder is required. Clear this one? This point you need to remember. When number of stages are increased, the size of the cylinders are in decreasing in the order. The size in the sense the diameter of the cylinder.
Sir,
Yeah.
you can find air intercoolers in old refrigerators also.
Can you repeat? We can find intercoolers in
Refrigerators.
refrigerators. No, there we are calling it as mute your mics. There we are calling it as condenser. Okay, if you see some of the refrigerators, if you go for Samsung, it will be completely encapsulated. We can't see anything outside, backside, except compressor. If you go for LG or Whirlpool, the condenser is open at the backside. Some fins structure will be there at the backside. You can see black mesh will be there. Okay, so inside these pipes, your refrigerant is passing. Thereby it will get cooled by using surrounding atmosphere. That is the reason, if you see, if you observe the back side of the refrigerator, it will be warmer compared to the other side. The back side of the refrigerator is hotter because it is rejecting its heat at the back side. These are called condensers. Okay, I will show you how the intercooler will be in practically. Can you see diagram?
Yes, sir.
All of you. Let me zoom. So this is air compressor. I think you can see from roadside, wherever there is a puncture shop, you can see this type of air compressor. Okay, right here. If you see, this is the one cylinder and this is other cylinder. If you see the size of the cylinder, here it is bigger as compared to second stage.
Yes, sir.
Okay. In between, you can see, I'll zoom it. there will be some fins over there. Here you can see this one, circular one, where I am moving my cursor. Where I am moving my cursor, you can see. Is it is possible to edit? Draw. Yeah, I can draw. But I can't zoom now. Okay, no issue, right? Now this is my first cylinder and this is the second cylinder. This is my intercooler, right? So from where the air is taking, this is the air from the atmosphere and this is the compressed air after the first stage. From here it is going to the intercooler. From the intercooler it is going to the second stage. From the second stage it is going into the tank. Here you can see the pressure inside the intercooler. And this is the overall pressure inside the tank. And these are other safety devices. Okay, here you can see stop valves will be there. Here it's not visible. This is the safety valve. Means whenever the pressure inside the air compressor reaches to the maximum pressure, right? Let us say it can withstand 15 bar, right? They will install the safety valve of 13 bar capacity. Means once the pressure inside the tank reaches beyond the 13 bar, that valve will operate automatically. The excess pressure will be released. Otherwise, what will happen? It will break the reserve, what we call tank. The tank will be damaged, right? Mechanical damage will happen or occurs to the tank. This is one view, and other view will be a backside will be like this. This is my prime mover here. This is the prime mover. With help of the prime mover, we are driving the air compressor. This is the other side of the back side. So you can see like this practical. This is two stage. This is two stage reciprocating air compressor. Here inside this one we have connecting rod, crank, everything will be there. Clear this one? Yeah.
On the cylinders we have fins also.
Yes,
On
that's
the
right.
cylinder.
Yes, on the cylinders also we have fins. Can you see pins over here? This one circular cylindrical pins over here.
Yes,
Like for our two-wheelers we have, right, like this. So this is also used to dissipate the heat. These fins are also used to dissipate the heat. Apart from that, in intercooler also we are using some fins. The main purpose of intercooler is to maintain the pressure constant by decreasing its temperature. Right now, students?
Yes, sir.
Right, means here I 1 minute only, right? If what is happening here, first still low pressure cylinder will takes the air from the atmosphere. It will compress and pressure rises to some medium pressure, right? Again we need to decrease the temperatures. Therefore what we are doing, the outlet of the first cylinder, the low pressure stage, is connected to the intercooler. So through the intercooler the pressure remains constant but only temperature drops, and this low temperature high pressure air from the first stage will be admitted into the second stage, thereby the pressure will be raised, right? Here one more thing, perfect intercooling and imperfect intercooling. There are two terms are there, perfect intercooling and imperfect intercooling. Let us take the temperature of air entering into the first stage is T1 and temperature leaving from the first stage is T2. The temperature leaving the intercooler is T3 and the temperature entering into the tank is T4. If T1 is equals to T3, means if the temperature of air leaving the intercooler is equal to suction temperature, then we can call it as perfect intercooling or 100% intercooling. If T3 is greater than T1, then we can call it as imperfect intercooling. If the temperature of the air leaving the intercooler is equal to temperature of air entering into the first stage, that is called perfect intercooling. And if the temperature is greater than this suction temperature, that is called imperfect intercooling. So with this, we will stop today. Any doubts do you have, you can ask me.